people took that as me trying to attack you when I was doing it more as a coach, trying to help you get the message right about the Ukraine war. As a radical, part of your job is to educate people on what's actually happening.
I mean, that's so condescending.
Isn't it?
It is so.
Isn't it? It's so egotistical.
Don't you think? I mean, look at the look on Cornel West's face.
I want to just before we start, I want to get this out there because some people misunderstood my coverage of your appearance with Anderson Cooper, and they took it as an attack on you when I was merely trying to help you get the message right about the Ukraine war. Because as a radical, part of your job is to educate people on what's actually happening, and you have to be crystal clear in explaining it to people, especially about what's happening in Ukraine. So,
wow. I mean, wasn't Jimmy Dore on our show to talk about Ukraine? I mean, you'd think.
You mean when he ran away? You mean where Jimmy the Door headed for the door? That conversation?
Well, I'm just struck, Sitch, by this intro. This intro is kind of giving me flashbacks of when Jimmy Dore was on our show.
Yeah.
And you said something very, very similar to him about getting the facts right on Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
And how did he respond to that?
He said, "I'm out of here, sucker!" Dun, 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 dun. And he sidestepped. He crab shuffle walked right out that door going whoop, 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 whoop.
So we've been critical of Jimmy Dore's facts on Ukraine. That's one of the reasons why we're excited to have him on the show. Sitch wanted to have a conversation with him, good faith conversation like we like to have on the show about what those facts are, what evidence we have for those facts. And Jimmy Dore basically just skedaddled.
Right.
So tell me, this set of facts that he's going to explain to Cornel West, you think they're accurate?
Oh my God. Well, I don't think he gets into them too much in this conversation, but I did watch his Cornel West and Anderson Cooper coverage, and I wrote down a summary of Jimmy Dore's position.
Okay.
Okay, ready? It's NATO bad, NATO bad, 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 NATO bad, 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 NATO bad.
Wow.
NATO bad. NATO bad.
Well,
Also,
Sitch.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I want you to finish. I mean, if there's more.
Okay, I'll give you the actual summary. Okay, NATO caused the war. Classic. NATO is an evil organization that only exists to stop Russian trade. I never heard that one before. I don't even know what that was in reference to. He used the word hegemonic power a lot of times. Classic word salad. He brought up the Newland phone call.
Oh, wow.
A classic, a favorite.
You were going to bring that up on the show when he was here.
I know.
Look, he could have had a conversation with us about the Newland phone call. Maybe get an interesting other perspective.
Maybe get the facts correct for once in his life. He brought up the whole 1 inch east line, that old chestnut.
Right, yeah.
He said that NATO provoked the entire war and that it's 100% NATO's fault.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He said if it wasn't for NATO, there would be peace in Ukraine.
Did he have an earpiece from Putin in his ear at the time?
I don't know. It's a good question. He said America is the world's terrorist.
Okay.
This was interesting. Now, he got mad at Cornel West in the conversation because Cornel West agreed with Anderson Cooper that Russia invading Ukraine was a criminal investigation.
A criminal act?
Criminal invasion.
Right, yes.
Right.
So Jimmy Dore doesn't think that Russia invading Ukraine was a criminal invasion?
I don't know. He didn't say. So Cornel West agrees with Anderson Cooper because Cornel West is very against NATO and helping Ukraine and all that stuff. But he agreed with Anderson Cooper that it was a criminal invasion by Russia, and this really bothered Jimmy and upset him. I don't know
because
why.
Jimmy likes the narrative that it's America's fault, that Jimmy believes, and we don't believe this, that there was a coup in 2014, right?
Yeah, right.
That America was involved in, and that Ukraine has ever since then been a vassal state of the United States. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but even if you have this stupid narrative, that it's all NATO's fault. It's all America's fault. America did everything bad. America, the most badish, the bad country in the bad world. Even if you believe all that, you would, I mean, usually, typically, when I hear people make this argument, they still say, yeah, Russia should not have invaded Ukraine and shouldn't be killing thousands and thousands of people. So I didn't understand why that was triggering to Jimmy. I didn't understand exactly what his position was here, but
we have a debate with Sitch and Dave Smith on the channel. The first one was actually the complete mess that Jimmy Dore joined the stream and then left in the middle of it, and Kurt was pretty much yelling at Sitch the entire time. Like it's just like it's virtually unwatchable. But Dave Smith was nice enough to come back for a second talk, which is here on the channel, which they did go through the Newland phone call in that talk. And I mean, Sitch is reading quotes from the phone call that are it's undeniable that Sitch's narrative is correct. And Dave Smith is kind of grabbing for anything he can hold on to maintain his version of events. And I mean, it's just comical. It's totally comical. So I encourage you to go back and listen to that, but that's not why I bring it up. I bring it up because in the very beginning of that dialogue, Sitch and I had decided to write something out to kind of let Dave off the hook with these charges that you're a Putin simp, or you are not you're in favor of Russia invading sovereign countries. And I do remember, I listened to it quite recently, that in the opening statement, you had said, look, I don't think that you believe, what Russia did was okay. You don't agree with that position. Now that's a mischaracterization of your position. And Dave Smith thanked you for making that thing. So this situation is kind of very similar to that.
Yeah, but that's why I thought it was weird that he was. That's why I didn't understand why he was mad at Cornel West for agreeing as a criminal. I was like, what? Like, I don't know.
Cornel West has the Dave Smith position.
Yes. Yeah. Most people that are against helping Ukraine have that position of what Putin is doing is evil and wrong, but they don't want to support, America giving them weapons or whatever for various reasons.
Sure. So I have that position.
It was strange to me that Jimmy seemed to have a problem with this. I don't know if I thought that Jimmy had that position that the other people had. Maybe he's changed on it because he kept bringing up the whole, the Ukrainians are murdering people in the Donbass. So maybe I don't know if I don't know if his position on it has changed over time. I don't know if he's pro-Russia invading Ukraine. I have no clue what's going on there.
Sure.
So.
And look, we'd love to have Jimmy on the channel. We'd love a chance to talk to Jimmy about this stuff. Look, Sitch, when you cackle uncontrollably in the background while I'm making a good faith offer, Sitch.
I'm sorry, continue.
Look, it makes it. Okay, well, let's just move on.
He's not going to come back on. Okay, I know you're trying. You're trying real hard, but
look, I feel like, how about this? We'll make a $500 bet, and then I can offer him half of the bet if he comes, if he actually comes on the show.
Okay, I like that. That's a good idea. We'll
no. Look, I don't think he's not going to come on for $250, and I'm not going to do it for free.
So, but there's two more fun things that are interesting about the whole Anderson Cooper conversation. First was that Kurt was on that show. Your good friend Kurt. And it's weird whenever
on the thing with the Anderson Cooper?
Yes. He was on the clip. Well, no, he wasn't on Anderson Cooper. He was on the clip with Jimmy when they were criticizing Cornel West.
So Jimmy Dore and Kurt Metzger were talking about Cornel West on Anderson Cooper, and they did a clip about it, right?
Yes.
And it got back to Cornel West, and he was like, brother, why are you insulting me on your YouTube channel?
I don't know. I don't think he ever responded to it, which is why Jimmy's kind of trying to do this. Like, listen, and to be fair, in the clip, he's sort of criticizing Cornel West for not holding his position strong enough against Anderson Cooper, but it wasn't he wasn't crapping on him or anything.
Right.
It wasn't oh, you suck or anything, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, no, you're letting him run over you. You're letting him talk over you. You're not aggressive enough in the conversation, blah, 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 blah. So that is, it is fair.
Okay. That's cool.
But it's just funny because I don't know why this is. like when there are other people like on Jimmy's show that are talking and it cuts to them, like a normal camera shot. Like it just cuts to them. I assume they're in the same studio or something, and they're just sitting somewhere else and it just cuts to them. Like, on any other show and that does this. But it's really weird for whenever Kurt, instead of cutting to Kurt like normal, he like pops up in a little box in the top left of the screen. It's so like he's like a little tiny person just pops up there to like say whatever his comment is. There's like whatever crazy ramblings, that Kurt's gonna put out there. I don't know why it's structured that way. It's so strange.
I don't know.
It's very weird. Like, oh, it's a little Kurt box. But the thing the human element that you probably want to that might be interesting is that in the Anderson Cooper conversation, and he says this comes up a little bit in this, and this comes up after this. Jimmy keeps bringing up the fact that he privately was trying to reach out to Cornel West, it seems like multiple times, to help him work on messaging.
Right.
And now he doesn't say this, but my impression from the way he's saying it is that Cornel West essentially never responded to these offers.
Right.
And Jimmy seems a little upset by it. He's like, I offered for free to give you my time to help you with messaging. There's just, ghosted.
Right. That's the part where I'm thinking, is he looking for a job, like a campaign manager position or something like that? I don't know.
People took that as me trying to attack you when I was doing it more as a coach, trying to help you and get it right. And that's
so condescending.
Isn't it?
It is so.
It's so egotistical.
Don't you think? Look at the look on Cornel West's face. Like the brother has gone right out of him. Cornel West is like, okay.
Normally, I would agree with you, except I feel like that's always Cornel's face. He's always making like weird faces. So I'm not sure exactly what emotions he's ever trying to convey.
Okay. We'll see.
Seriously,
we'll see how this is.
It's like even before this, he was making weird faces. So I don't know. I would agree with you normally, but
that's what I'm going to be doing in this interview also, because I was thrilled to hear that you're running third party. You got more courage than I do to do it. You're a better man than me. And so I appreciate you doing it, because you're getting the message out there about the Ukraine war, about the two-party duopoly. This is really important. And so if I just want to tell people, so if it seems like I'm being critical of Cornel West from here going forward to the election, what it is going to be is me trying to help make his message even better than it is, because I think it's really important that his message get out there. That's what this is about. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up.
Oh, sure. I think the important thing always is, brother, that, we the anthem of Black folk is lift every voice, not lift every echo. You got a voice. I've got a voice. Our voices overlap. Our voices can have tension. Our voices can conflict. We can learn from one another. We proceed. We've got a similar critique of the predatory capitalist society. We've got similar critique of a whole host of issues, and certain things we disagree with. Well, that's understandable too. I'm learning from you. You learning from me. But it's the respect more than anything else that's crucial here. And I think I appreciate you starting off with that kind of a reflection, my brother. Very much.
Now, aside from the anti-capitalist rhetoric, what's to disagree about that message? We're trying to figure it out with mutual respect.
Yeah, no, I agree that at least in the beginning of this, and I think for most of the conversation, even though I completely disagree with most of Cornel West's positions on everything, he is coming at this conversation far more respectful, and definitely in the beginning, very respectful, in a way that Jimmy obviously does not.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, starting the Jimmy obviously starts the conversation off very sort of egotistically. I'm gonna fix you, Cornel.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't
I'm here to
understand this.
school
I'm gonna
you.
fix you. Right.
Listen, old timer. Listen, boomer. Right. I'm here to fix it up for you.
I'm sure they're like the same age.
Okay. Cornel West has 10 years on Jimmy Dore. Easily.
I don't feel like that's true.
Okay. Well,
Jimmy Dore,
we can fact check it.
Age.
Every time you fact check Adam, it turns out that I'm correct though. So I mean
more than you're not.
Well, good. What are the ages?
He is 58.
Okay.
Jimmy Dore is 58.
Jimmy Dore is
Yeah.
58.
Yes.
Okay. I
Cornel
thought
West age.
Jimmy Dore was younger, so maybe
Oh
you're
wow.
correct.
I guess you
Six-
were right.
68.
70.
Oh, look.
He looks
12
pretty
years.
good for 70.
I was only 2 years off.
I mean, he looks pretty good for 70. Jimmy doesn't look. I mean, Jimmy doesn't look awful, but
So Jimmy's Gen X, and Cornel West is Boomer.
he's boomer.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Let me
Classic
school you.
boomer.
Let me school you, Boomer.
Let me school you, boomer. Oh, it's funny, too. So kind of watching this in retrospect from after seeing kind of the fallout, because so Jimmy has a very nasty habit of basically accusing everyone that disagrees with him as intentionally being deceptive, as opposed to
That
just having a
is- yeah.
disagreement.
That's horrible.
Yeah, he has like the peak, like 3-year-old brain of assuming everyone in the world knows exactly what he knows. He kind of said this in the Anderson Cooper coverage. They were kind of assuming that Anderson either knew the truth about Ukraine and was lying, or Anderson kind of vaguely knew the truth and was being willfully ignorant, so he could maintain his ignorance about Ukraine, as opposed to just having a difference of opinion. And when you have that perspective, I think that's part of what makes people get very angry in these conversations and not be respectful, is because you're basically walking into the conversation assuming if the person doesn't agree with you, then they must be lying, which obviously is going to make you angry.
Right. This is the old lying or stupid split.
Well, no,
neither of those is a good pick.
Jimmy's going from mostly people are just lying.
Right.
He's not even. I don't even think he's really opting the stupid. But
right. Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.